Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a little bit of a different video. Essentially we're just going to look at both OP04 and OP05 and what it is they're bringing to the table, not necessarily in playability, just more of a collector's kind of standpoint on things. OP04 does introduce the SPs, which is the first line of cards you see here. So for OP04, since it's already been out in Japan for a while and it's right around the corner here for us in English, we can actually go to the official Asia One Piece website and look at the cards. So obviously we're not going to see all the texturing. They're just simple JPEGs, but I can tell you, as someone who's opened a ton of O4, these SPs and the leaders, like, they look phenomenal in person. So yeah, we do have the reprint of Blocker Law as one of the SPs in O4. We have Boa from 01, and this one looks really cool in person. It's got like a bubbly texture. The same thing with Law, kind of. Each one of these SPs actually have different variations of like shapes and stuff for the texturing, so it's very interesting. But if they look anywhere as good as they do in Japanese whenever they come out in the English form, it's definitely like something to look forward to, and it was a really nice introduction to kind of switch up things for the sets, something else to chase out of the sets. And then we have the Whitebeard, and a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of this card, but something you have to remember with this card in particular, it's the same artist, I do forget their name, that did the Charlotte Linlin alt art in OP03, so that's why the art style is the way it is. It's a very realism type of vibe, and in person, this one actually, it looks like a straight up oil painting on the card. So I honestly, after seeing it in person, it grew on me quite a bit. The Magellan's really cool. I forget exactly what the shapes kind of look like for the texturing on this one, but it does look really good in person. And then we have Akainu, or Sakazuki, who is the last SP of the set. So I don't know how many we'll get in English. Obviously it's not out yet. I know in Japan, or in the Japanese release, for every 12 boxes in a case you would only get one of these, but typically the English ratios tend to be doubled. For example, the Wanted cards in OP03, they were 1 per case for the Japanese cases, but they are 2 per case in English, and these kind of take place of that. So we could see 2 per case, and the only other thing I'm kind of curious about is if they're going to come in leader box the same way the Wanted cards do. So outside of that, we do have a new leader art style. This is Vivi's leader alt art, where it's got the leader here, and then it's kind of got something that correlates to the story arc that the leader's from in the background. So here we have the Straw Hat Pirates, and yeah, this one looks really good in person. I've seen it. And then we'll also be covering like the alt arts. So regular Pell looks pretty good in person. The alt art is amazing as well. So I just wanted to do this video to kind of look at the artwork for kind of the chase things. As someone who both plays and collects, I think it's nice to just kind of sit and actually enjoy the artwork. Now obviously the cards look a lot better in person because you can actually see the texturing and the foiling and things like that, but this is just something for people who may not necessarily collect the Japanese side of things, because I know there are people like that, and for people who don't necessarily look towards the future sets, they just kind of take it as it comes. This is meant to be kind of a consolidated video of just having a look at things, and obviously you can see other cards from the set as we're going through. The Doflamingo leader is really great. It's got the whole Don Quixote family behind him here. This is one of the ones I have pulled out of the few cases I've opened. This is probably my favorite leader out of the ones in this set, but yeah, he just menacingly sitting there with his whole crew in the background. It's sick. And then we do have Isho as well, with Akainu hollering at him in the background. So really just not like a whole crew like the other ones have been so far, but yeah, this one goes hard. You still see the black and the green down here, and just the texturing on this card in person is so sick. And then we do have the Sugar alt art, which is a little zany. I haven't made it this far in the anime, so I'm not sure, or the manga, so I'm not sure what, you know, this comes from exactly. I have an idea, but that's you know, something to talk about at a different time. We don't really cover that here on the channel. And then we do have the Diamante alt art. I have seen this one in person, and it looks really good. Just in general, the artwork's really sick, and I think it's something that even as a player you can kind of appreciate. So yeah, we're just trying to give people a taste of what to expect in the upcoming sets. So we do have Treble, Mr. Mucus Man here. This one actually doesn't look bad in person, and he's a great card as well. So, and then Big 10-drop Dofi. This is a sick alt art, and if you're playing Dofi in an OPO4 format, you're gonna want this. 10-drop Dofi is just a powerhouse of a card, so yeah, definitely worth picking up in my opinion, and get them cheap while you can. We have Rebecca as the next leader here, blue and black. Got her daddy, and if you know, you know why it is what it is in the background. But yeah, this one looks really good in person. The texturing's on point, the foiling's on point. Pulled it out of one of the cases that I opened for OPO4 as well. Then we have Queen with King, Jack, and Kaido in the background, and I haven't seen this one in person, but I've seen people like on Whatnot and other platforms like showing it off, and everything about this card is actually really sick. So if you're gonna play Queen, my opinion would be you might as well run this over the regular version. It just has a little bit more character. And then we have the regular Super Rare Kaido, which in itself looks really sick, but then the alt art is like his hybrid form, and you know, obviously we can't get enough 10-drop Kaidos in the game, but you know, it is what it is. But I've seen this one in person. I've pulled a few of them, and it looks really sick. The foiling on the lightning and stuff right here is just chef's kiss. So we'll move on to the next page here, and Who's Who. It is the Animal Kingdom Searcher. Compared to its regular form, this is a very sick alt art. And if you're gonna play the blue yellow variant, or even just blue Animal Kingdoms, not as good, but typically blue yellow for Queen, you're gonna want this definitely. And then we have the regular Croc, and then you got Croc with all of Baroque Works in the background, and it's just I've seen this one a few times, and it looks really good. I mean, all the leaders, just the style they chose to go for 04. I really hope we see it again. As much of a fan of the big anime faces as I am, this is definitely, you know, a move in the right direction, especially considering 03's leaders weren't exactly the biggest hit with people. And then, what is a set with a Croc leader without a Croc character? This one, I'm on the fence. I want to see the English version. I don't know if 01's alt Crocodile or the 04 alt Crocodile, you know, I like more. But this one looks really sick in person. The like sand right here, it has like different texturing and stuff to actually make it kind of have that sand appeal, similar to the OPO1 alt art. And then we do move into Miss All Sunday. So the super rare is pretty cool, and then bam, yeah, you pop over to his alt art, and there's just so much going on, and the text, again, the texturing, the foiling in person just looks immaculate. And another one of those ones that, you know, if you're playing this deck, you're gonna want probably 3 to 4 copies of this into your deck. And yeah, you might as well run the alt arts. I'm not big on running alt arts and stuff, but like the 04 things, the 04 alt arts, like they're just worthwhile in my opinion because they look so much better than the SR version. And then the next one we have is Mr. 5 flicking his boogers. This one's cool, but this one's honestly a little bit lackluster. It is just a rare. So then you pop over here and like there's texturing from him flicking his explosive booger. So yeah, it's a good one. It's probably one of the more underwhelming alt arts of the set in my opinion. And we're getting close to the end here. So we do have Kairos. This is the regular one. I like this art. I think it's really cool. His alt art though is just like, you know, one-legged soldier doing his thing, looking like a big buff dude. It's sick. Then we do have Sabo, which has 3 versions because if you aren't aware, you have the SR, you have the alt art, which looks fantastic, but Sabo is the manga rare for OP04. If for some reason you haven't kept up with things and didn't know this, yes, Sabo is the manga for 04 and looks absolutely amazing. I think it was a great choice, you know, considering we went Shanks, super popular, Ace, super popular, Soga King, a little bit more niche, and then we come back with Sabo, and then when we cover the 05 stuff later in the video, I think this was the perfect one to choose before some of the mangas for 05. And then we do have Gear 4 Luffy. The super rare looks pretty good, but the alt art is just big bad Luffy doing his thing, coming at you with a big old fist, ready to just knock some sense into you if you aren't playing this version of the card. And from there, I think we move into the yellows. We do have Beige. He gets a new card, and it's really just a vanilla with a trigger. The trigger up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters cannot attack during this turn. So, and he has a 2k counter, but his alt art is sick. His devil fruit just in full effect. He's a giant castle. I mean, you can't go wrong. As sick as it is a little underwhelming in person, but it is still sick. So Beige got the good treatment. We do get a Sanji super rare, and I mean, I like the artwork style going on here, but his alt art is just sick. The flames on his foot are like raised foiling, and it's textured, and it's just, there's a lot going on, but this is probably one of my chases as far as the alt arts go for 04. I think it's just amazing. And then we do have the Yami Mami Yamato super rare. Looks pretty good, but the alt art, she just bam, menacing 9-drop Yamato. Yeah, this one's gonna definitely have that waifu premium on it. And let's jump into the end here. We do have the secret rares. We have Vivi, and this secret rare is pretty cool. And then the alt art is just like, I mean, it speaks for itself. The texturing on this card is amazing. I just really hope the English release does it justice. Then we move into Corazon. I personally like the regular version better, which is this. But we do have the alt art, which in its own right does look good. Something about this version I really like. I think it's just the fact that he looks more menacing here, and then the alt art, he looks a little bit more friendly. So again, I'm not this far in the manga or the anime, so I don't know what the references are for where this artwork was taken from for either card. But yeah, that was the 04 cards. This will be a little bit of a longer video for, you know, just kind of going over things, because we are about to jump into 05 stuff. But my base camp will be going away just because 05's not on this site like this, and the way I have to present that information to you, yeah, I don't want to be in the way. So I want you to be able to take it in and you know, be hyped on it. So let's go ahead and pop this way. And all information, all the photos that I'm about to go through here in my tabs were on Orange Samurai ID's Twitter. And if you don't already follow him, make sure to follow him. I will post his link tree down in the description of this video, so you can go follow him on all platforms that he's on. He stays on top of things like crazy. He goes over winning deck list, upcoming cards, promos, pretty much anything One Piece news related. You can find it here on Orange Samurai's Twitter and other platforms that he's on. So OP05 is looking to be one of the craziest sets that we've seen so far, and they're really pulling out all the stops for this 1 year anniversary of the set. So obviously take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt on whether or not this is how sets will be moving forward. But we're going to start off with some of the alt arts here. We do have a 7-drop Borsellino, as Vampire TCG calls him, Adam Sandler. And now that I'm looking at it, because I haven't actually looked at these cards too in depth up close, he does kind of have some Adam Sandler vibes going on here. So if we zoom in, yeah, definitely some Adam Sandler vibes going on. Then we have Mr. Luciano here, looking pretty sick. So those are the first two alt arts from OP05, and then we have these two ladies. Not familiar with their names and forgot to look at the information. I just kind of pulled up all the photos that I could find so we could go over stuff. But yeah, they look really sick. This one looks really cool. I like the play on the art style, kind of like a coloring book almost. This looks typical. Well, not typical. It does kind of have the coloring book aspect going on in the background here as well. But the use of colors, everything, like, it just looks like it will look very good in person. And then we have, I believe this is Baby 5. Yeah. So yeah, that's a big gun. This looks like it will be pretty sick. I'm sure there'll be some textured foiling going on with the bullets here and things like that. I haven't watched the stream that showcased some of these cards, so yeah, just kind of going over what to expect out of this. I believe this is Pika, and yeah, that's a big man. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of crazy texturing going on with all this kind of stuff exploding here, but you can see kind of like the swipes, and I think that will lead to some very fantastic foiling. Then we have Ulti here doing Ulti things. Typically you can kind of tell where like the foiling is going to be and the raised texturing and stuff. So from the way this looks, yeah, that's going to be a pretty crazy card. And then a blue X Drake. This is interesting. I haven't kept up with like all the translations and stuff for these cards, so I don't have a clue what really any of these do. I'm pretty sure that's blocker. So this is a blocker X Drake. That's kind of interesting. 5 cost, 6k power. Okay, but no, this looks sick though. You're gonna have raised texturing on this, like where the slashes are. So yeah, that'll be really nice. Enel, doing Enel things, just looking pretty sick. I'm actually right at Skypiea in the manga right now, so excited to learn a little bit more about this guy. So yeah, that I'm sure the texturing and foiling on this is going to be quite great. I watched Vamp's video. He said this guy's name. I don't know it, but oh, he does have angel wings. I just noticed that. That's pretty cool. So, and then we have Bello Betty character. This is looking sick. We got Sabo out here, you know, putting things down with the kick, and we have Koala, all Revolutionary Army. These are all the alt arts for them. I think they're doing a great job with all these alt arts. So Sabo looks cool, but after all the stuff we get from OP04 with Sabo, This is a little underwhelming, but I reserve full opinion until I see all the texturing and stuff. Then we get this Law and this Kid, and these look absolutely amazing. The art style is so sick. And I mean, it's Law and Kid, so typically they get pretty sick looking cards, but I mean, just I can't even imagine what these are gonna look like with the texturing and stuff. Like, that's crazy. Also, Law's card number is 69, and then Kid's 74. So once again, Kid gets the shaft. Then we have Zoro here. I couldn't find a photo like rendering like the other ones, but I thought this Zoro, I'm pretty sure this is an alt art Zoro, and you can kind of see where the texturing and foiling is on this one, so I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, another Zoro alt art for everybody to chase. This is the alt Dawn for the set. I think it's really cool. Obviously, insert joke about missing out on the Enel face, but I think honestly having Luffy on a Dawn again for the first anniversary is a really sick move, especially considering everything that's happening in the anime right now and things of that nature. And now we're going to move into the SPs. Yes, the SPs make a comeback in OPO 5, and they look really good. I may try to, in editing, find some better renders of these, but these are just the ones that I could find on Orange Samurai's Twitter. And we have the Rob Lucci 6-drop. I think it looks really cool. I like the art style they went with these. Next up is Nami. It's the 1-drop Searcher Nami. It gets another reprint, but I think this is probably the sickest reprint we've gotten so far, and just in general it looks really good. Again, I really like the art style they went with all of these for 05. It's just, I don't know, something about it kind of is reminiscent of like the CCG cards, but like done right, I guess is a way to say it. But yeah, a lot of people like the Chinese CCG cards and stuff like that, so this is kind of a way for them to get, I guess, variations of cards that are kind of reminiscent of that while also being playable in the actual card game. And then we get the Uta, which is yeah, it's the 8-drop Luta. It's the 8-drop Uta. I believe it's the secret rare from 02, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, it looks good in itself. And then we have the 10-drop Kaido, I believe. Yeah, this is the one from OPO4, so it's another variation of the same one that we just looked at before we jumped into the 05 stuff. I think it looks really cool. He's in his like hybrid form here. And then we have Yamato from OPO1, and this one I really like. I don't know, I like the embossing. I know I've seen the videos of these like in person where you can actually see the foiling and stuff, and they look really good. There's so much texturing and just like they're super shiny. I know shiny thing me want, but they look really good. They complement the way they did the backgrounds, complement the artwork for the characters very well, and I think so. Interesting step up for the SPs from OPO4. Then we also have Enel here, and they're like paintings, I guess is the way to put it. Obviously with OPO4 it's a little bit like, I guess, more simplistic is the way to put it, whereas these have such complex backgrounds, and this reminds me of like stuff you'd see at like a restaurant in a sense. I don't know if you guys will understand what I mean, but like, you know, you walk into restaurants and you see like the textured artwork and tiles and stuff on the walls. That's what the backgrounds are kind of giving me the vibes of. So next we're gonna move into the alt arts of the leaders. We do have Akainu right here. I don't know what happened. I thought we had a different alt art for Akainu coming up, but this is the one we got. I know there's a video. I don't remember if it was in the video for, or the stream for the reveal of a lot of these cards, but I know all the alt art leaders They are back to the manga faces for the 1 year anniversary, and these are all directly taken from manga panels. So, and then we have Enel again. Insert mischance for Enel face, but if you know the context to this particular picture, it's right after he restarted his heart, and then you compare that with his leader ability. I don't remember the exact wording, so I don't want to butcher it and then be called out on that. So, but it does play it hand in hand with the context of the manga panel they chose for Enel's alt art. Then we have Luffy, purple Luffy. This deck looks crazy. It's the only one from 05 that I've seen any gameplay with, and yeah, I believe that was on Blackbeard Pirates TCG, Blackbeard TCG. Yeah. Anyways, I linked it in another video not too long ago. I'll try to remember to link it in this one. It's really crazy what you can do with this leader. Purple is definitely going to be back in the meta when 04 comes out, if it's not already there with some other stuff. Then we have Sabo. You know, Sabo being Sabo, he's dope. We have Bello Betty. This is, I believe, the first leader we had revealed for 05. So outside of Enel and Luffy. So I know I did a video covering, I believe, those three in particular. And then we have Corazon. Oh, look at Corazon. He went from a secret rare in 04 to he's a full-fledged blocker leader in 05. So yeah, really dope. And the last thing we're going to move into here before I just click over to it is, again, OP05 is the 1 year anniversary, at least in Japan, for the One Piece TCG. And I'm sure by the time you're watching this video, if you've watched this far, you know exactly what we're about to get into. And it is the fact that OP05 has not one, not two, but 3 manga rares. That's right. Not only are we chasing for one card that is not guaranteed per 12 boxes in a case, we now have 3. We have the 3 captains, to be exact. We have Kid, we have Gear 5 Luffy, and we have Trafalgar Law, and they all look great. I will pull up photos of each one. It's not gonna let me zoom in. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, this is each one in their own respect. Oh, the Luffy it'll let me zoom in on. Wonderful. But yeah, they all look very nice. This information just came out the other day, and just absolute mad lads for doing this. You know, it was crazy enough putting Gear 5 as the first one that they revealed, but then to come up and just say, you know what, that's not enough. Gear 5's in the anime now. It was in the manga a while back. We're gonna give you 2 more to go with it, to really put it out there that you know, this is the 1 year anniversary and we're gonna celebrate it, right? And we want people to stay here. Now I do worry that they're putting too many eggs into one basket for one set, and people will have higher expectations for the set to follow. I think we should all prepare ourselves for the next set to feel a little underwhelming compared to 05, considering we went from 04 with all of its great artworks and changes of direction, and then we go into 05 with a little bit of a throwback to the first 2 sets with the anime face leaders, and then the SPs are just absolutely bonkers. And then they also throw in 3 manga rares. I don't think we should expect to see 3 manga rares moving forward. I think they'll go back to 1 manga rare per set after this. Maybe it'll become a once a year thing where, like, you know, on an anniversary set we get 3 manga rares. I think that would actually be really cool. I'd be down for that. You know, once a year towards the end of the year we get that set that has, you know, the 3 big chases along with everything else that they throw in there. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. We do have 1 more card. Give me 1 second. We'll flip around to it. I need to actually find a picture of it because it completely slipped my mind when I was prepping things. 1 second. And the last card we're going to touch on here for the OP05 and OP04, nope, not the way to say it. And the last card we're going to touch on here to kind of wrap up going over the artworks and what to expect from OP04 and OP05 is this card right here. It's special to the 05 set because this is specifically an Oda artwork that he did for this set to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the One Piece TCG. Obviously, a lot of these cards have artwork that are from the manga and things like that, but this one is something Oda did specifically for this set. I don't know if this is something we'll see again in later sets or anything like that, but I think it is something to be appreciated. It is a reprint of the starter deck 1 Luffy, so the Rush Luffy. And yeah, I think it looks really cool. I just now hit me looking at it here that's got the black borders that sets it apart from any of the other cards so far that have been released. And so yeah, that was a very long overview of what to expect from 04 and 05 as far as artworks go. We may do a video later on kind of going over more of the effects and things of that nature, but I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate the direction that Bandai is going with the game and how they're doing the artwork styles. Like I said, I'm not only a player of the game, but I also like to just collect the cards to have and pull out and just enjoy and look at. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too drony or too long in general. I was just going to cover 05 first, but then I thought that it was kind of stupid not to do 04 first, and so I decided to just smash them all into one video, especially considering I'm not putting out videos as often for you guys. So I really hope you enjoy this longer form video. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It's very appreciated. We're very close to 200 subscribers, so that means if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the most to me. I would really like to hit 200 subs before my birthday next week, exactly a week after this video drops. So you can do the math on what day that is and all that good stuff. So yeah, and if you didn't like this video, go ahead and hit that too. I like knowing when I put something out that you don't particularly care for, because then I can kind of navigate away from doing videos of that format again. I do enjoy doing videos like this personally. I think it's nice to not have to stress about gameplay, or, you know, honestly, this video in particular was a little bit different because it very much so was just going over the artwork and kind of what to expect versus doing in-depth discussion and like what's the playability and what's this. It's just enjoying things from a different perspective, and there's a lot of perspectives I have on a lot of things. So yeah, just a little bit of it, I guess, insight to how my mind works, if you want to say that. But anyways, again, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next ones. Later, pirates.